Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bolt from the Blue Tarot. My name is Sam. I am an intuitive, a tarot card reader, a psychic, and I have a bunch of neat decks for you today. We've got astrology cards, we've got chakra cards, Oracle of Destiny, Earth Wisdom Oracle. We're going to get into it. Let's see, Spirit, what first? Yeah, Earth Wisdom. Oh, that was fast. We got 9, self-acceptance. Huh. Check that out. Just the one? Spread? Let's do a spread. Three, strength. Ooh, guys, this deck is, I want to say, mostly like depictions of feminine figures, but we have 2 of maybe 3 masculine cards coming out here. Self-acceptance and strength. This feels like a very healthy masculine energy that's either coming out or being encouraged, balanced at present. Do we need more from here? Just these 2. I mean, this is so funny to me. Do you guys see how this guy is climbing and this guy is offering, this guy over here is offering a hand as though to someone who would be climbing that cliffside next to him, right? One is climbing the cliffside and one is at the top of the cliff. You know, other things I notice, this landscape is more devoid of verdant green life, right? There's a tree at the top that looks like it's just hitting spring, you know, with the flowers coming out. There's this hope at the top of whatever he's climbing here, this hill. This like new life springing up, this verdant green fertility energy. And this guy is already up there and he's fully clad in his armor. There's this sense of like your divine masculine aspect is getting stronger, right? You're ridding yourself of the, you know, when you are climbing or hiking up like a serious mountain, like a 14er, or, you know, a hike where you have to use your hands, like a serious hike where you work up a sweat and you stink because you're sweating out toxins, right? It's a deep sweat. And my sense is that like whatever you're going through right now is a refining process of shedding the toxic aspects of your masculine side. It's also an acceptance of your masculine strength. Like whether you are a man or a woman here, whether you identify, no matter how you identify, I'm just talking about that aspect of you that is the doing principle, that takes action out in the world, that moves energy or sends it out rather than receiving it. It feels like an acceptance of what you want to do. Almost like you might say, no, I'm trying to curb my masculine impulses to just do. So I'm not going to do this thing. When this is like, no, this is divine masculinity, right? This is guided. No matter how strange it seems to climb this landscape of pillars, whatever's going on here, it's guided. Like these little flowers flying down are almost like breadcrumbs along his path, right? Feels divinely guided. Anything else from these? It's about the sum of it. Yeah, we got the gist. Okay, cool. I think astrology cards next. I have not used these in combination, so I've got a couple very small decks, obviously, but one of them is planets and the other is houses. I'm not a hugely well-educated astrology guy, but I felt the call, and you know, I'm climbing the weird hill. So let's do it. Yeah, we do planets first. Uranus, however you want to say it. Change and liberation. Uranus is known in astrology as the awakener. It represents your drive to be different and bring about radical change. Another number 9, like this self-acceptance card, co-rules Aquarius. Neat. Okay, let's see what house. Seventh house, relationships. The seventh house represents one-to-one relationships, including marriages, romantic partners, business partners, and even enemies. This is card number 34, which adds up to a 7. How about that? So you could be awakening to this healthy masculinity through a relationship. A relationship that's bringing in change, or one that's showing you what change is possible. For some of you, you could identify as more feminine, and this is like an actual male figure that you're going to be in relationship with in some fashion. You might be like, I've climbed this relationship hill before. There's no good, there's no decent dude at the top. And in this case, there might be. But it also may be someone, like if you're used to a lot of toxic masculinity in your life, just like the masculine figures in your life are toxic, even the feminine identifying figures in your life are pretty toxic masculine still. This can be someone who shows you what healthy masculinity looks like, or someone who shows you what that looks like in you, shows you the potential. Yeah, this can be a lot of things, but with Aquarius, I am getting like, maybe they show you something that you couldn't see, because it's Aquarius is that the deep waters, right? The waters of change, but also I associate it with the subconscious. It's an interesting energy of like a masculine energy showing you something that's in the deep waters, which we associate as more like feminine, receptive. So this can even be someone showing you like an action you can take to better understand the aspects of you that you can't see, and how they may actually be strengths rather than weaknesses, or how to co-opt them to create strength, transform them into strength, transmute them into strength. Yeah, we're going to pull some chakra cards. These are little affirmations for each chakra, and we're just going to see how this relates for you. Oops. Third eye chakra. I am confident in my ability to make my life work. This is great. It's interesting. I read it in my head, but corrected it as I was speaking. I am confident in my ability to make my life's work. So this can even be someone who shows you through what they have done, right? Through their masculine doing actions, what is possible for you to also do. Gives you something to climb this hill and aim for, right? To know that there is true potential and strength at the top. This can be just like someone who inspires you because they do, by showing you what is possible in some realm that you're interested in, and gives you a North Star to point to. You know, with the Uranus and seventh house, this can even be like a mentor. It's very rare in my readings for this to be someone outside of you, but I think this is. It can even be a mentor in like the psychic realms. Someone who shows you like practices you can do, things that feel active. Because a lot of psychic stuff is just receiving. But you can also, take action to practice your skills and hone them. Yeah, okay. Anything else from here? Okay, there's something else that wants to come out. We shall see. Bottom of the deck. Getting picky. Okay. Ooh, root chakra. I am at home in my own body. This might be about bodily felt psychic senses. We think that everyone experiences their psychic abilities and gifts through staring into a crystal ball or, reading tarot. And that's, these are useful tools, but a lot of it is like we have very unique gifts to our particular body, our particular vessel. And we don't really choose what our strengths are in those terms. It's just like, but we should lean into our strengths, most definitely, because they're God-given, if you like, it's how you were put together. So if you're like, yeah, Sam, I really would prefer that I don't get intuitive information this way, but this is how I get it. It's like, well, there's something there, right? And we do ourselves a disservice, and it's a little bit of a middle finger to the divine if you don't, right? A little bit like, yeah, I know you you gave me this certain set of skills, but they're lousy and I want these instead. Like, well, that's not wise. it's really interesting as well. It's almost like with these guys and these gals, it's almost like bringing energy up from the root to the third eye. Like your, if this is about psychic work, and I'm assuming it is at this point, it may not be well grounded enough or fully integrated into the earth. There is this sense of like, third eye knows what it's doing, but has to pull up energy from the root of, to complete the circuit, right? In the middle, in the heart. With all this green energy, yeah, heart for sure. That's where they connect. Okay, anything else from the chakras? Okay, great. Let's do we want anything from here? Do we have, yeah, okay. Do one card, little spread, little spread. Girdle of Venus. We love it, we love it. Big spirit energy. Air. I'm gonna leave that upside down, I think. Life. So do we need more? I think however this process unfurls is the word I'm going to use. This is coming through the voice. Like with all of the blue here. And my sense is she's blowing on this feather, right? There's this feeling of this comes to life through the voice. It gains magic through the voice. So there's something about for example, let me just talk about tarot. So it's one thing to do readings for yourself. It's different to do readings for other people, even if you're alone doing them like I am now. And one of the biggest parts about it is speaking it out loud instead of like when you do a reading for yourself, you're kind of working through it in your head and you're deciding what it means in your head. But it takes on this like realness, this finitude, reality when you voice it. So even if you're not a tarot reader, like for example, if this were a tarot, record yourself just with the recorder app on your phone. Record yourself as though you were a tarot reader. And even if it is a reading for yourself, record it as though it were for someone else. It's like, here's what I'm getting for you. And really it's about you, right? it doesn't have to be like that, but this is just something where you'll see, if you're like me, you work through things differently when you voice them, or you might work through psychic information by voicing it out loud. There's something about this act of translating it to voice which makes it make sense once you hear it back from someone who's spoken it out loud, where in your head it's just a bunch of like pictures and images, bunch of perplexing hieroglyphics, you know. But it will make a lot more sense when you have to force it into a framework of language out loud. And then you can listen back to it. Yeah, so it's like maybe you've been channeling, but you haven't been speaking out loud. Maybe you've been just getting like these vague insights and then being like, cool, don't know what to do with that, instead of like just practicing voicing what they could mean. There's something here about like that moving energy through. And I mean, that's the first step down from the third eye, is the throat chakra, right? So it might be a way to help meet this energy from the root, this grounded earth energy halfway, where the air meets the soil here with life. Okay. Anything else? Advice? We could do one card. No? Okay, we're good. All right, guys. Usually I pull an advice card at the end, but that's not being called for. So I'm thinking that whoever this is for, this message has been delivered. Whether or not it makes sense, it might have just unlocked something. Like I say at the beginning here, this can be about something that has not yet come in, or to explain a process that you're going through without knowing, or that you will go through without knowing why. So yeah, you might not feel like there's any concrete advice here. I think there are bits and pieces that will make sense in time. And it's just like with the voicing it, right? It won't make sense until there's like an element that's missing, is my feeling. And you will find it. You will find it. And then this reading will make a lot more sense. But here it's just coming out to let you know. These are just little hints. Little hints. Because you got this. You got this. All right, guys. I will see you in the next one. If this is your first time here, do like and subscribe. Stick around. We would love to have you here at Bolt from the Blue Tarot. And I'll see you in the next one.